Hey guys, and today we're back with a brand new video. Now in today's video we're going to be discussing the iPhone SE and 6S, what it looks like for them in iOS 13. Will they be receiving it or not? Now on June 3rd, WWDC 19 will be taking place, and iOS 13, macOS 10.15, WatchOS 6, and a ton of new hardware is going to be announced. Now, there was a rumor in the beginning of this year, I believe it was January of this year, we had a rumor from an Israeli site, and it was suggesting that the iPhone 5S, 6, and 6S and SE models would all be dropped and wouldn't make it to iOS 13. Now, this was a questionable rumor, and even a few hours after this rumor was, brought to people's attention, they actually updated their website and made the status of the 6Ss and SEs questionable. Now, it makes no sense in my opinion because the iPhone SEs and 6Ss are still very powerful phones. The A9 processors, the 2 gigs of RAM combined, they're just great phones still. A ton of people use 6Ss, a ton of people use SEs, and they're just really good phones. They're solid phones. Battery life, a lot of people will complain about it, but you also have to keep in mind how long have you had your battery, have you ever gotten it replaced too. Now, the iPhone SE and 6Ss were the first phones, of course, with the Apple A9 processor, but also the first phones with 2 gigabytes of RAM. So even to this point today, their RAM management is great. I mean, you can see comparison of an iPhone XR versus an iPhone SE, or XS versus an iPhone SE, or versus 6Ss, and the RAM management and how the apps hold up in the background of these phones, and the A9, the 2015, 2016 phones, it's great, it's phenomenal. And if the SE and 6S don't, get iOS 13, it's going to be pretty rough on Apple because so many people use these phones and they're still capable of doing it. They're still capable of running the software. And when it comes to the iPhone 6Ss and SEs, so the 6S released in 2015. I think we should say this. The iPhone 6S is released in 2015. The iPhone SE released in early 2016. The iPhone 6S started with iOS 9, while the SE started with iOS 9.3. So if Apple drops support for the SEs, that'll be about like 2.5 years of support, while the iPhone 6S will be at 4 years of support. I mean, does that sound right? No, it doesn't. Now, typically, Apple supports iPhones for a minimum of 5 years. A minimum of 5 years. And a maximum of 7 years. So this would actually be cutting the phones short by a decent amount, I could say. I mean, a year, that's pretty decent, in my opinion. I've got to say, if they do that, it's going to take a toll on them for multiple reasons, such as so many people use these phones, and they're not going to spend $1,000 on a brand new phone or $750 for a budget end iPhone. It's not worth it if you have a 6S or an SE. If you have an iPhone 6 or 5S, maybe you should consider upgrading. Actually, in fact, you should upgrade. Unless you're perfectly fine with it. If you don't care about speed, you don't care about playing games, you just care about making music, texting, and using the phone app, then you're good. I mean, but if you're having an SE or 6S, there's really no point to upgrade, and that's one of the points that I want to make. So the first rumor in January say that the iPhone SEs and 6S would not be receiving iOS 13, even though they later updated that to be questionable. But like about a month ago, there's a brand new rumor that came to the attention of people, and it's like Apple hates older iPhones. I've seen videos called that, and Apple's really taking it hard on older iPhones, specifically the 6Ss and SEs, because so many people use them and they aren't upgrading because of the price. And that together with the first theory not really theory, but rumor that the iPhone SEs and 6Ss were not getting iOS 13, both of those combined equals no support. I mean, if Apple is really, right, if they're in a time right now that they're like, okay, we got to do something about these older phones, no one is upgrading, and match that with the rumor that they were going to be dropped, combined, they're going to drop it just so people have to upgrade. Quite honestly, that's unlike Apple. I mean, they're really sticking to their word with a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 7 years. I cannot ever see them doing this. And it's kind of upsetting if they do. And I don't want to believe they are. And I highly doubt they are. I still am on the side that they are going to be keeping support. Now, and this is another topic, like the 5S. Like we have a 5S right here. This phone will not be getting iOS 13. It wasn't even supposed to get iOS 12. The iPhone 5S should have actually originally dropped on iOS 11, sorry, and it got 12 because 11 was such a mess that iOS 12, was focused on performance and fixing, just polishing up the software in general. So the 5S, of course, got that because they weren't going to leave it with iOS 11 over there, like, come on. But iOS 13 is going to be a major update, and we have new rumors actually saying that it's going to be increasing performance again. Not as much, I don't think. It's not going to be focused on performance again, as you guys already know. But they're going to add some performance improvements still. Like, they're not going to drop that whole area. They're going to keep it going a little bit. Now, this iPhone 6, I do want to bring this up, even though, the video is not necessarily 100% about this. The iPhone 6 is questionable. And it's questionable in most people's opinions, not mine. And I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that the iPhone 6, released in 2014, iOS 12 is its 5th year, the minimum. So it's already ready to be dropped. Now, if the 5S stuck to the schedule, if iOS 11 was not as bad as it was, and it was perfectly fine, they dropped the 5S, there you go, okay, that lived how it should have. iOS 12 was a major feature update, the iPhone 6 would have moved on. But then when iOS 13 releases, the 6 would have been dropped. That means that this year, it actually should be dropped. It should not be getting iOS 13 anyway. If they go to their, according to plan, it shouldn't be getting iOS 13 anyway. Now, a lot of people say, well, the 5S got an extra year's support, so is the 6. The 6 should. No, that's not how that works. As I already said, the 5S only got iOS 12 to get off of that messy iOS 11 and go up to the performance improvements and the fixes and polishing of iOS 12. The 5S shouldn't have got it other than that. Now, when it comes to the iPhone 6, it's still on schedule. It's still how it should be. Everything's how it should be. But the A8 processor in the iPhone 6 compared to the A7 and the 5S was not a big upgrade at all. Like, just the slightest bit. It was like, put them side by side and compare them, like, right next to each other. You can probably tell, but then you put them next, you have a friend that has you have a friend that has an iPhone 6 and you're over there with an iPhone 5S, you can't really tell a difference. It's not a big upgrade. And then they both have the same 1 gig of RAM, which should not, out of everything we're hearing iOS 13 is going to be or bring, 1 gigabyte of RAM should not be enough. Like, just, no. I can't even picture that. It would be the iPhone 4S or the A5 devices all over again with iOS 9. It would be a mess, honestly, and I really hope and truly believe that they're going to cut the 5S and 6. That's, in my opinion, not even a questionable thing. That's just, they're done. Now, the iPhone SEs and 6Ss, if they're going according to schedule, they should get iOS 13 and definitely not get 14. Now, iOS 13, it's going to be a massive update, and I think that the iPhone SEs and 6Ss should be able to handle it. They can handle it. It's, the A9 processor was a massive upgrade from the A8. Absolutely, like, 2 times faster, and the 2 gigs of RAM is double what we had in the 6s and 5Ss, so already, it's a major upgrade, and these phones are powerful. I've said it how many times in this video, they're just powerful phones, and I don't see any reason for them to be dropped. And it'd be, again, really upsetting if they do. And quite honestly, pretty bad for Apple, because since a lot of people use 6Ss and SEs, you're dropping so many people at once that's not going to end so well, because, I would assume that there are a lot of people would be so mad about that they'd switch to Android, that they would go to Samsung, they'd go Huawei, they'd go to LG, any other phone company other than Apple, and Apple would lose a lot of business from that, and it's not... It wouldn't be a smart move. It would not be a smart move. So, I hope that they make the right decision and be able to make it support the SEs and 6Ss, because if they're testing it right now, which I mean they are, but if the SEs and the 6Ss have terrible performance on it right now, when they or at least when they tested it, then they can force the update, just as long as they can force it by removing the heavy features, while giving it some of the new features, like lowering the support, but so it's still supported and runs fine. And that's what they usually do. And I hope that they do that, at least at the minimum. I hope they do that. And I really believe that they're going to be supported. And if they're not, well, what can we do? So I just wanted to cover that. So see what you guys think. Now, stay tuned for my next video, and it would be very appreciated if you guys could like this video and subscribe to the channel. Starting off, this YouTube channel is not easy, so it'd be really, really appreciated if you guys could just subscribe, press the subscribe button, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one. See ya.